Okay, so one of the things that we've struggled with in Africa and most black generation has been the ability to pass wealth down from one generation to the other. And that is really the purpose, the reason why I'm going to be looking at this next set of series talking about creating wealth using the vehicle of real estate and passing that real estate down from one generation to the other. So my name still remains Okpe Oluwa Oni. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, and while growing up, there are quite a number of names that we heard of that. I mean, we're one of the richest people there. And okay, let me here share the good news. I saw an article of recent, and I think I saw it on social media, and a lot of people were surprised that Aliko Dangote is the richest black man in Africa now, and it was that article. I think it was an extract from an interview that he did, and he was saying that many years ago his grandfather was the richest man in West Africa. Okay, and a lot of people don't understand what that does to the mentality of a child, knowing fully well that this has been done in your lineage, it can be done in your lineage. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand that, and the fact that that has happened in his lineage, and ever since that same wealth, that same culture has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Even his great great grandfather too, was a noble person. Okay, so that is very, very important. Of course, there are names we've had um, in Nigeria that today they are nowhere to be found, and they are not in the radar of. Yes, they are still wealthy. Probably their father were billionaires, now they are millionaires, or their father was multi-millionaires, but they are just trying as much as possible to make ends meet. I remember that I was in Abuja one time. I won't mention the name of the man. And I mean, at some point in the 90s, in the 80s, this his name was synonymous to wealth. And one of the properties that he owned was put up for sale. And I was just thinking that, okay, how come they want to sell this property? That means this man had the ability to make money, had the ability to create wealth, had the ability to buy properties, but he did not have enough knowledge, enough wisdom to be able to manage those wealth. Okay, so tonight I'm starting a series on how to pass real estate from one generation to the other. And for those that have been listening to me for quite some time, I often talk about the mind. The mind is where the battle is. The mind is where um, you win. The mind is where you lose. Okay, so passing real estate from one generation to another is very, very, very important. So I'm going to run through some quotes, and I'll try as much as possible not um, to make this too long, but because when the videos are short, people tend to watch and listen. Okay, so how to pass real estate from one generation to another. So let's just run through some quotes and facts and things that I believe will help us. In fact, running through this alone, I strongly believe that it will help a great deal. Okay, so it takes one person in a generation to take risk and to end poverty in that generation. Okay, so you've done it the way your father has been doing it. There's even a saying that let's do it the way it has always been so that it can give us the result that it's usually be, right? But a wise man said something. I think Zig Ziglar said that it is insanity to do the same thing the same old way that you have been doing it, and you are expecting a different result. He called it, that is the perfect definition of insanity. That is what the perfect definition of insanity. Okay, so if there be anything that we've been doing and it has not given us the required result, what do we need? A risk taker, somebody that will stand the ground and say that, okay, I want to move this family from where we are right now to another level. Just one person. That person is going to pay the sacrifice. That person is going to be the how would I put it, the scapegoat or the sacrificial lamb, and ultimately it might not really be make that much sacrifice, but he's going to take that bold decision, right? Okay, so next part is that one vehicle that can help you create, retain, and pass wealth from one generation to the other is real estate. Yes, a lot of people, I mean, so many things, stock, Bitcoin. I mean, look at Nigerian stock has been doing wonders. And December, January, it was just doing a whole lot of, just performing a lot of wonders, right? It goes down, it comes up. But one thing that you do not miss is real estate. You can't get it wrong with real estate. I often tell people that let's say there are two plots or two lots of land that want to be sold. Mr. A on the same day, the same time, Mr. A bought his own 1 million naira, Mr. B bought his own 10 million naira. It might look like Mr. B spent more money, right? Yes, logically, right? It looks like it does not make any financial sense, right? But at some point, let's say all things being equal, all the things that will make the property to appreciate have been put in place, all things being equal, right? And that value of that property or in that area goes to 100 million. That does not mean that the property that was bought for 1 million will stay at 50 million, and the property that was bought for 10 million will stay at 100 million, right? The two will what? Will balance up later. That is the power of real estate, right? Is the power of real estate. I mean, uh, there's this saying that anytime you wake up is your own morning. So anytime you enter into real estate, enter with the mindset that you actually want to go and create wealth in real estate. Okay. So the art is not just about making money, it's about keeping it for one generation to the other. The art is not just about making money. It's not just because we want to make money, make money, make money. Really, if you really look at it, how much money do you really need to be financially free? How much money do you really need to be, let me use the local palace, to be okay, right? How much money do you really need? But it's not about the money, the ability to make money now. It's ability to what? To pass that money from one generation to another, from one generation to another. That is very, very important. Okay. You were able to create wealth of $1 million, right? And you pass it to the next generation, right? That is what is very, very important. And the next generation probably took it from $1 million to $10 million, right? That is transfer of wealth. That is generational wealth. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, how many generations that keep the? How many generations can you keep the money for? How many generations can you keep the money from? Okay, there's a theory of four, and I believe that if you do the right thing, and it can be more than 4 generations. Somebody said it takes 4 generations to squander a wealth. And I agree. At the same time, I disagree because if the first generation, I remember the story. I love to share story a lot. I remember the story of Ihoi Mugu. His son was kidnapped. I mean, this guy is so wealthy and all of that. And the kidnappers knew that the guy is wealthy. And he said that they should, I mean, he was supposed to pay a ransom. And he said he was not going to pay a ransom. Everybody were like, you have this money. He said, I'm not going to pay the ransom. If they are going to kill him, let them kill him. If he cannot afford whatever the boy that was kidnapped can afford to pay, is what should be paid. Apart from that, my money is not his money. I've set him free. It was a very, very interesting story. And eventually the boy was rescued. The man didn't pay the ransom. And what happened was that, of course, the man died a billionaire. In fact, at that time, the guy was already a billionaire, was already old, and his son took it up as a challenge, did not depend on his father's wealth, and build his own wealth. So eventually, when the father died, of course, the trust, everything belongs to him. He didn't even pay attention to him. It was his own son that paid attention to it. And of course, the same way he was treated, that's the same way he treated his son too. And he told his son, see, This money is for me. I build this wealth. You need to build your own wealth. And that is very, very important. You see, most of the loop of wealth creation, where it usually breaks, is an uneducated fool. You know, don't let me go into all those details, right? Okay. Transferring wealth from one generation to the other will give the new generation an head start with options. That's basically what happened. When you look at the story, this generation A was able to build $1 million, right? $1 million passed to generation B. For generation B, it's an head start. And you see, the advantage of having an head start is that you have an option. Not, see, creating wealth with the mindset of option is a different ball game. Creating wealth with mindset of zero option. Zero option, you will struggle to create wealth. So with options, you have that mindset and you have the ability to create wealth. Okay, are we good? Right. And um, so wherever you stop will be the stepping stone for the next generation. Yeah, wherever you stop will be the stepping stone for the next generation. They can just keep stacking the wealth and stacking the wealth and stacking the wealth and stacking the wealth. The most important thing is that you are building a competent generation. As you are building wealth, you are building a competent generation so that you will not eventually create an uneducated fool, right? So that is very, very, very important. Okay. Wealth creation needs an unconscious, competent mind. Wealth creation needs an unconscious, competent mind. And that's where I'm going to be stopping. You might wonder which one is an unconscious, competent mind. I'm going to take it up from there tomorrow, which is the part two. So we'll break it down. So how do we move? How do we create this thing? How do we go about this thing? Okay. So my name still remains Okwe Oluwa Oni. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If it has been a great blessing or you've learned something from it, don't forget to share. Bye.